I usually start like this. I say, hey, everybody, welcome back to the SFC podcast. It's me, Josh Stock, and I'm here. I'm currently the old guy around SFC, although I prefer the term older because old just kind of feels hurtful. When you're
older does sound good.
Yeah. But so today they left the old man alone in the office. I found these cameras and lights and microphones and stuff. And today we're going to talk about old stuff. And here today, joining me to talk about old stuff is my old friend, Floyd. Yeah. Floyd, I've got a question for you straight out the gate. What is old? Everybody always says what's new. So what is old, Floyd?
What is old? That's a good one, man. Seasoned, I'd say. Seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper.
I like that idea. That's good. I was telling a guy the other day playing soccer. He said, "Oh, that's old guys," and I said, "Experienced guys."
That's another one. That's a good one.
He's like, "Oh, I'm going to use that." I'm like, "Yeah, I always forget because I'm old."
Seasoned and experienced.
I often forget because I'm experienced and seasoned.
I do feel old. Not actually. Yeah.
Some days. This morning I got up to wake my daughter up for a dance, and I tried to put my left foot into my pants, and it didn't want to go, and I was like, well, here you go.
That's the weird things. Yeah.
These are the things. Like, it doesn't want to
Getting up out of bed. I used to make fun of my dad. Like, he's like, oh, man, it's hard to get out of bed. And I was like...
But,
and
I'll
be like, oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, I know. Now I complain to my dad, and he's like, don't even start. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to somebody else.
No, you can't.
But listen, we are old. You and I are old. We're not old for, like, normal people, but we are old for snowboarders.
Yes.
Which is hard. We're not kids anymore. We're not niños anymore. And are you 45? I'm 45 this year. 46?
Bro, I just turned
yes, that's
46.
Right. A couple weeks ago. Bro,
31st.
Happy belated. Oh, yeah, I remember I missed it by a day.
Yeah,
but I'm like, dude, okay. I just barely got your birthday. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, no, it was yesterday.
Your text was like, hey, dude, it's your birthday, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, dude. And I was typing thanks, and you go, oh, man, it was yesterday.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, we're old for snowboarders, and so we stopped bouncing probably years ago. You don't still bounce, do you, when you fall?
No.
You're into like jujitsu and stuff, though, right? So you're like spry, trying to stay spry, young.
Oh, buddy.
Limber?
Yeah, I would call it. I try, buddy.
I try to be spry.
Oh my gosh, I try to be spry. Jiu-jitsu is like my new snowboarding. I still love snowboarding with the family, kids, myself. Meet up with you. That's about as much as my snowboarding goes. But jiu-jitsu is something
you gotta do what you gotta. You gotta do what. Yeah, I keep telling my wife, I'm like, just find something you like to do, and go.
It's so fun.
Try and help it keep you in shape.
It does, but there are times where, like the next morning,
oh, buddy,
like I'm just like, oh my God. I know. But I try to say like, working out is a big deal. Like supplement, I feel healthier now or in better shape than I was.
I think I take better care of my body than I did.
Yeah.
Because I remember what it's like to bounce. I don't still, for sure. But
I don't bounce.
No, I absolutely don't. But I remember what it was like where you just slam. Dude, we have so many clips. I could pull them up of us.
That's all I did.
Slamming and like getting up and going again. And I'm like, today, if I fall,
That's a good point.
It's like a week ender. Like I'm done for the week. And I'm like, guys, I got to go.
Dude, I'd be in the same boat,
myself or something. Like an old man. But I remember, dude, I remember going through footage, and you're like, I tried that trick 40 times. Like you go back and you count the loop, and you're like, man, what an idiot,
bro. I was thinking that like we would go nonstop. I think my chiropractor. So we see like a functional health. My chiropractor is working on to be exact, the left side back. Bottom, and I was like, because I never landed any tricks. I just crashed them all. So like I still haven't landed any of them, and now I feel like that's what we work on. We're like working on all these things on my body,
Dude,
and I literally know
same.
that they're all from snowboarding because I bounced.
Chiropractor's like,
and
what's wrong
what
with
they
your
go-
hip? And I'm like, that's the hip I crash on.
Oh, dude,
my
that's
back
when
hip.
I would always land on
Literally,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's funny even thinking about it bouncing. Like we literally would, and then you'd bounce and like keep going, and then like high five your friend. Like, oh man, next time, bro, I would be out.
There
for the
are no
count.
next times for us anymore, Floyd.
Oh my god, I did crash once this winter, and
No.
bro, I laid there and I was like, oh my god.
I've got this like 6-point check now where I'm like, as the hips are the legs, and I'm like, okay, I can try and stand up.
Yeah, just like.
Which I don't remember, like being a kid. I don't remember. My dad like would play basketball and like do stuff with his buddies, but I don't remember him talking about feeling old as much as I feel like I'm talking about being old.
That's funny. I think.
That's funny. That was good. That wasn't a joke. I'm serious. Floyd.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. You always say the funniest things. Do you find yourself acting more like your dad? Like, are you like, man, I catch myself. Like the other day, I literally caught myself saying a thing to the kids, and I was like, shoot, that is my dad's voice coming out of my face.
Yes.
You do the same thing?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You act like your parents
it's crazy.
now? There's like those commercials about you're
especially
beginning
with
to
you
act
have
like your
kids.
parents. Yeah, I know.
Dude, the Geico one. The
Yeah,
Geico
that's
commercial is
pretty
great
funny.
because and it's funny because we're the ones laughing. Like if my kids were watching that, they're like,
They're like, that's not funny.
and then
you're like,
Lindsay and I are like, oh my god.
I need to get
And
insurance.
it's so true. Yeah. Which I probably should.
Gosh, well, in talking about old stuff, we SFC is 30 years old this year, which 30 years old doesn't sound old to me anymore for a person, but for the thing we've been doing, it's pretty old. And we're doing 3 big this year. If you're just tuning in, we're doing these 3 big celebrations on 3 continents and celebrating like 3 decades. It's like a trifecta thing. And the theme that we're talking about is seasons. We're talking about seasons of life, like 30 seasons of ministry to this weird people group, like often forgotten, regularly overlooked, like bizarre little subculture of people that we love. But it's the more we talk about it, it's like, dude, there's like hundreds of millions of people in this subculture, like real people with real needs and souls and difficulties and darkness of their own, and it's like this culture that the time I've spent in it, it's like there's like big needs, and SFC is cool because it's like for 30 years been faithfully going and shining Jesus within it, and so we're celebrating this year. We're trying to take on this celebratory note, because 30 years is a long time to be doing a thing,
dude.
I told you when you invited me to come here, I told you I'd do it for a year or 2, and then I was going on to do real missions. I don't know if you remember me saying that, but I literally this is what 20-some years in, and I'm like, gosh,
dude, I think that's hilarious. Like, okay, so if I was just going to be raw here, like everything, when starting SFC and then calling you, Lindsay and I had just gotten married, but we talked about it, and we literally just got married.
Yeah.
And then you were right on the same train, or like you like basically
married,
came out and then just about to, but like it was just like boom, boom, like talk about. Like, there's a lot of times I apologize to Lindsay. Like, I'm like, oh, man.
Dude, we moved
Like,
into a house here when we got here with 5 dudes. Like, my newly married wife and I lived with 5 dudes for a couple years, and was like, well, you know, it's just Summit County, and
this is mission
culture, and this is mission.
It is, and it's so crazy because like that is the truth. Like Lindsay and I love the stories though. Like I do, like when you reached out to me about like just some SFC 30-year stuff. I tripped out. Like I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's like so crazy. And at that point, I remember like, oh, dude, if we do this, I want to invite Josh. Like, I don't think I even had long term in my mind. Like at that age, it just longevity was never like a thing. Like I was like, oh, dude, yeah. I just want to snowboard and talk about God. Those were like the
right.
2 key points that sounded amazing. And then I was like, dude, and I got married. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Not thinking for 7 years, like for the first few years, we always had roommates. We always had people like, and we look back at it as like a really great story. And whenever we tell people that are not in our subculture, like that, or like lived it and grew up in it and like actually lived it, they don't get it, dude. Like a lot of people did, like by the book or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just funny because whenever I'm in a group of people now that like I live down in the Front Range, like I'll tell stories and people are like, what? And then I'm like, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. Like, and she's like, oh, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Did we go through hard times? Yeah. Sure, like there's like some moments where I was like, I didn't think this was going to play out. But dude, I don't think I thought you and I would last. Yeah. I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think we would be here.
I love you too.
Dude, I
just
didn't think you'd
we should
last.
see other people. I just think you should see. Like I see that guy over there, and I see this guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of insane to look back. That was 2004 we moved in here, so 26. That's 22 years ago. We moved into town, which kind of is insane. Like I look back and I'm like, I've been here for 22. This is my 23rd winter.
That's awesome, man.
In some account, which is kind of insane.
That's
because,
nuts.
and so I mean that's like what we're trying
life.
to dive into
normal,
is like
though.
seasons. And I've been through crazy, we'll dive into it, I guess. But so anyway, let's dive in. So we're talking about seasons.
Which I love it called seasons.
I want to ask you a question. Yeah, it's kind of vague. People were like, "What are you talking about?" And so that's why we're doing a podcast to kind of explain it a little bit more. But so like thinking back through like when I moved here and where I am now, and like even where I'm going, like if you can like think through like different seasons or like eras of your life, like how would you like compartmentalize that? Because like as a young adult, I'm like, my young adult stage was like, dude, it was just freaking go hard, like hero mode, just like, like all-nighters, and you just burn the candle at both ends and then like flamethrower in the middle. Like we were just going. And then now I'm like middle-aged, mid-40s, whatever. And I'm like, this is just like a new season of life that I can't live like that anymore. Like I'm now in a new season
100%.
where I'm like, bro, literally, dude, I've been like reading these studies on, they call it menopause. It's like your body is producing different hormones, like just like menopause. Like you start to, it's like, do you find yourself tired? And you're like, yes, I live tired. Like I live my whole entire existence as tired. And they're like, well, that's your body changing. And it's like talking about, it like compares like middle age to like adolescence, like when you're like when you're becoming a teenager and like your like puberty stuff, like your body's changing, your body's like super tired, and like even in your mind, you're like trying to like find your identity and stuff. They're like that you have like this second adolescence, like 40s, and lots of people like do it wrong and talk about it, like demonize it, where they're like, oh, dude, it's bad to be old. To get older, but it's like every single human gets older, and they like demonize it because it's like, oh, you're in a midlife crisis. It's always crisis. They like talk about it bad.
I used to be worried about that actually.
Yeah, well, these guys are like lately been studying it, and they're like, oh, it's crazy. What if we started talking about it like as a redemptive sort of thing? Like, bro, I get to start like a new. Like now I have a little bit more like wisdom and experience. Lots of people have more resources. I don't really because I'm in missions. But some people have more resources. And so they like you like start to think it's kind of like a re-identifying. So anyway, I'm way off track, but I've just been like in this season of like, how do I do, even with my wife, I'm like, how do we do this well? Like, can we not call it midlife? Like, what if we called it like the golden years? Like, what if we gave it like a cool name, and then we could like refer to it like fondly instead of being like, I'm tired because I'm middle aged.
Dude,
what if it's like the Wonder Years was like the TV show?
Yeah, and the Golden Girl. Oh no, that's
Golden Girls. No, I don't want to be a Golden Girl.
Dude, I'm all about the Golden Girls. Okay, I do not want to get sidetracked. I always do that. So. Yeah. So go ahead. Finish up.
So you're just thinking through seasons of your life. Like can you define a couple in your head? Like, do you often think back like that?
Yeah, a lot. Believe it or not. most people watching are like, Floyd doesn't do that. But I love to wake up early and process, like, and I think about like seasons all the time. Like, I mean, kind of timely, like this morning, Holden is just started his first day of school. Yeah.
Crazy.
And, so like I go down these, like, I think I sent you like a text this morning, like with those 2 photos, like, and Sullivan, Sully was with, and, I just think of that season, and dude, like Lindsay and I were literally talking about, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that was so crazy. Like I was traveling a lot, like the kids, and just, we were just talking about all those things. And I think the coolest part about seasons is like, it could be like an actual, like we talk about the snowboard seasons, or like how that season was, like this last season was like the driest winter season, all these things. But then I always just kind of always look at it as like, was it tough? Did I learn a lot? That's the stuff I process. And then like, oh man, I remember that season, like being really hard, or on my marriage, or I remember, man, the kids, like, God, that was so tough. Like, do you remember how busy it was? And like, oh man, we felt like a taxi driver. And it's just crazy. I love like thinking back to all the seasons, and then I don't even know if I'm answering the question, but then there was like and then when you talk about the seasons with SFC, like that was just like, that was a big part, like a big season of our life. Yeah. Where, lately it's been awesome to kind of like be replugged in, because it's obvious that like we went different directions, and so many things happen, and some of it you wish never did happen, and then some of it you wish like just that you didn't have certain things, and you're like, oh dude, maybe that was part of that season. I just think what's cool through it all that I've learned is that you can't, like, God will always kind of like orchestrate and get you through things like that, or whatever it is. He's always been like the kind of center of all of it. Like even if it was hard, it's like, oh dude, I didn't even think I remember thinking that was so bad, and like I couldn't get through that. And then, well, I guess I'm here still. Like, I think you and I were joking. I was like, dude, I literally like thought I would never be 40. I'm not going to reach 40.
My mom always joked I'd never hit 25. I'm like, I did.
25.
Success. I know. I'm like, that was a while ago.
Right. Oh my gosh. And so it's kind of funny to think about. Like, so I don't know, like seasons is, I like the topic of it, because there's so many valleys and like highs and lows, which is seasons to me. Like, oh, that was a tough season in my life. And then, oh, that was a great season in my life. But
well, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking back, just sort of remembering some of the things we did, some people we met, lessons we learned. But the other part that I want to make sure we get to is that life isn't just about looking back, right? I was recently preaching in Mark 6, and Jesus, he's like out doing ministry. He's like bringing the kingdom, and he goes back to his hometown, which is kind of a fun one. He goes back to his hometown, and it says the people were astonished by his teachings and his power and all this stuff, but then they like start to compare him and they start to judge him, and then it says, and they took offense at him, like, because they're like, oh, dude, that's like Mary's kid. Like, who does he think he is, type of thing. And it says they took offense, and so he could do no miracles. And I was thinking about, like, Jesus has come back to his home after a season of sort of like coming into his identity and his purpose, and like a season of like bringing the kingdom of God in like this new way and power. And but things changed. Like, people change, right? Like, so I just came back from a trip back to my parents back on the East Coast, and I'm not going to compare me to Jesus. I was not a prophet going back to his hometown, but like, I go back home to my mother country, which is the country. It's just out in sticks and dirt and pseudo poverty. We grew up as hillbillies, and although now I like call myself Hill William, because I've like matured. I was Billy as a boy, but like now I'm Hill William. I've like matured.
Hillbilly.
I've become slightly cultured.
I like that.
But anyway, when I was back there, I was like sort of pondering like you go back, and then you just like reflect on everything when you're back there, because nostalgia like takes over for a couple days. And so I was like thinking, I went back to my dad's church and like did all this stuff, and I was like, man, it's crazy that I like I was reflecting on like my life of faith. I like came to the Lord in like a like summer campy kind of stuff. It wasn't really necessarily my parents, but it was more like my own sort of thing. But I like had this like passion for like missions, but everything as a kid was like future focused for me. It was all like, dude, someday I'm going to do this, and someday I'm going to do that, and someday we're going to go here, and someday, and it was all like, I'll achieve it, not really achieve a thing, but like my prompt, like my purpose is like out there in the future, and like I think just thinking back on it, like as I was chewing on it all, I'm like, I think I was so future focused as a kid that I like missed a lot of that like living in the moment stuff.
Shoot.
And I think a lot of people do that. Like a lot of people are so future focused. They're like, man, I'll arrive when I get to here, or this thing will like not until I get that car or that girl or that job or the whatever education. And people like live in that future focus thing. But on the contrary, some people try to like live in like the golden era, like the time gone by. Like, man, wasn't it good back when gasoline only cost $0.25? Like there's like all these things that like we
always going back.
Yeah, a lot of us like think of like the golden age was like back then, like back when I was still living like he's in high school and he's 60. And like, so we have this thing sometimes where we like, it's so cliche, but like we forget to like live in the right now. Cause there is like a weird balance. It's almost like if you drew like two concentric or two circles like this and they like overlap like on this little point, like the living in the past and living in the future. And then there's just like little blip that's like this right now, like moment. Like we only have like this moment. And sorry, I know it's a little long winded, but like I've been really, really wrestling with this. I'm like, am I living in the past, or am I living with like hope for a better future? Or am I like, because you have to kind of hold both. Like you hold the past memories and lessons in one hand, and then like future hopes and dreams in the other hand. And then you still have to like live right here where those two things meet. And this is what we have. Like right now we have this breath, we have this moment, you and me right now, like we're just right here. And am I talking nonsense? Like the more I think about this, the more I'm like, man, we just have this like little sliver just right there in the middle. And then we've got to like try and hold this stuff in balance.
I like that though.
Makes sense.
Yeah, totally. No, I like that kind of stuff. Like, honestly, I think it's easy to always think in the past, like I don't want to say names or anything. I have a good friend that you also know too, and it's probably been a minute, but, from SFC days, and we hang out and, or not hang out. It's on the phone. I don't hang out with people anymore. Dude, when I say hang out, like I like literally laugh.
I mean, I text.
Like I'll have someone be like, "Hey, dude, we should hang out sometimes." And one time I was like bummed because I knew it would happen. I was like, "It probably won't happen, man." Like
I don't have time to hang out.
Dude, when do I have time to do that? You could, anyways. And he kept talking about SFC in the day, which is awesome. But it was nonstop, and like it was a lot. Like we kept talking about it, and I felt like every conversation had come up was like, "Oh man, remember when we did this?" And like, "Man, I just miss those days." And like the town was like this, or like the lift was like this, or like my board was like, it's just like everything. And I was like, and I did say, I was like, I know, man, but like, super good to look back, and then, but I do remember having a feeling like I was like, but dude, that was then. Like we can't relive that. Like, and it was kind of sad because I was like, in a good way, it's changed, and we have to look at it as like it is what it is. Yeah. And I think what you're saying is like with the season, like it is super good though to look forward to also expectation of like God. And I think sometimes it's hard to like. I think we miss out on being able to pray things in or like look forward to like, dude, I want to like see this like goal or this purpose or this vision or this thing on my mind rather than try to live in the past or like just stay stagnant. And then you got like future. And I feel like even not that we even like none of this is like rehearsed for like the seasons thing, but like I think that's what's so cool about this conference too, is like rallying everyone together and being able to talk those things through. Like being excited, like, hey, we're not done. Let's be present, and then let's move forward. I heard someone say, I've always used it, or I tried to apply it, but like, I just remember sharing with someone more wise, like someone older, and I was talking, and she said, like the best, like I said, God, it's just so busy. Everything's moving so fast. I'm either living, like I'm not, like I'm just overwhelmed and stressed. And especially in today's age, like it's so easy to like be anxious and like overwhelmed and like busy. Mm-hmm. And it was cool. She was like, well, we can't slow it down. Or she's like, it like, you can't change that. But because I think I said, I wish we could just like stop or slow down. And like that movie Click, maybe I'm aging myself. I just remember wanting that clicker, dude. Like, I think that's why I liked that movie. I was like, oh, I just want to pause it. I just want to pause. I just want to pause. Like, hold on. Like, and most of it would be sleep now. I'd just be like, dude, I just want to sleep.
Yeah,
like,
pause everything so I can take a nap.
Bro, I'm always tired. And she was like, man, the best way to slow things down is just be present. It's like, I really liked that because honestly, it's like, yeah, things do slow down if you can be present. And whenever you're present, like being, I think that's why, as corny as it is, like I used to have like weird, like quiet times. Like when you're younger, people are like, you need to have a quiet time to be close to God. And I'd be like, quiet time. But now, or like, you know, like my mom always wanted quiet time, but it's just because I was annoying. But, and probably like driving her bonkers. But so quiet time always sound, but like now it's like, oh dude, I do like that time where you can like stop and be present and like be in that moment of like, yeah, you process stuff, but like figure out what's going forward and what's moving and stuff. But something I try to practice, and I still don't have it down. But
I found like I have like the need for I didn't used to maybe have that, or I didn't know that I had it. Like I needed to be alone and go out in the woods.
Yeah.
You know,
like
I've taken pal surfing like the last couple of years, and it's cool because it's like these short little shots. You like just sort of hike up, or you like those little skins that you just take them off real quick, and you like sneak out in the morning or whatever, whenever you can find like an hour to get away, just like in friggin' backyard, and like ride these little short shots, and like you'll like hike up, so you like get a workout, you know, as a dude.
So you feel great.
I need it like every 2 or 3 days. I'd like need to get it out of me, or I'd go crazy and I drive everybody crazy. But you like get out, you sneak into the woods, you like hike up, your like heart's going, and then you like sit for a second, and like you can hear, dude. Sometimes I'm like out in the trees and you can like hear the snowflakes hitting the leaves and stuff,
bro.
Or like hitting the branches, and you're like, dude, I didn't realize I needed. It was funny because I was like a park rat for so many years, and
I know, dude. Come on,
Zion made that made a pal surf. No, not pal surf. Split board. Remember?
Split board.
They made it for 1 year, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna send you one of these." And I was like, "Dude, don't waste your money. Like, I'm not gonna use it. I'm a park rat. Like, I hit rails. Like, can I hit rails on it? And can I like split up and hit rail?" And they're like, "No, dude, you're an idiot."
You're like, dude, splitting up the park.
I don't want it. Like, I don't. We did a short on that actually.
I think that'd be awesome. Actually,
it was called. We did this thing called Chrysalis. It's like a stupid. It's like the guy who's like turning into like the backcountry guru from being like a park rat. And we like filmed like I was like hiking.
That's actually so funny, dude.
Anyway, but anyway, like I didn't realize.
Come up with good ideas.
I didn't realize like I was getting older and needed it. Like I still hit rails. I'm still an idiot in my 40s. But I like started doing it, and I was like, dude, this is stupid. I'll try it whatever once or twice because they sent it to me, and I feel bad. And so I like did it once, and I was like, that sucked. I suck at going uphill. I'm really out of shape or something. But I was like going straight up. I wasn't even like doing zigzags. I'm like, you're an idiot. So I had to like watch and like figure out how people were doing it. It's like but then like so I like started putting these little notches in the board like for how many days I went. So the first year was like 3
that's a great idea.
And then the next year was like 15. The next year was like 30. I was like, dude, I have almost as many days on the resort as I do on my, because I was just like, I fell in love with like getting into nature and like just spending a little bit of time of quiet. And sometimes I'd like pray, I'd have a certain prayer, a certain frustration on my heart or whatever. And then other times I'm like, I just need to just freaking silence, dude. Especially with kids in the house. And I live in a ski condo. Like my kids are, Kimma's 13. She's lived her whole life in a tiny little ski condo, just bouncing off the wall. And so I like discovered that like, oh, I think this is a new season, to use the word, like a new season of life where like I need something different than I used to need.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're sort of going with this idea of seasons is, did things change? And whether you're young or you're old, like, or you're somewhere in the middle, like you can expect, as for young people, like, hey, warning, you can expect some different seasons are coming. If you're in the middle, you're like, bro, you've been through a couple seasons. You might just feel kind of lost, disoriented. And then old folks are like, bro, it's all going to be fine. I get this from dudes all the time. They're like, bro, it'll be fine. It's just money. And I'm like, dude, don't tell me that. You're retired. You have money. I don't have any money. You know, like.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to do. I do that too.
Yeah. Ugh. So anyway, so here we are. Seasons is our theme. And I think we're sort of moving. I like where this is going. When we came up with this theme, it was based on, do you know the book of Ecclesiastes? Have you ever read it, dude? It's freaking hard.
You and I were talking about it, and honestly,
I'm not
I
seasoned in Ecclesiastes.
I skimmed through it, so and actually, you sent me something though to I need to start that up though. Yeah, I'm
so
interested.
Like the idea, and I only just recently have researched this a little bit more, is that the author, some assume it was King Solomon, most scholars think it wasn't. It was like somebody later who either was writing as if he were King Solomon. Well, he didn't do this. They did this. Yeah, he was writing as if he was King Solomon, or something like that. But the author's like essentially like looking back on his life, in the midst of everything, and there's that one famous section where he says, "There's a time and a season for everything in life. A time of weeping, a time of celebration, a time of love, a time to die, a time to mourn, a time to dance." He sort of like goes through this big long thing of like, there's a time and a season in life for everything. And I just really like that because I'm like in the middle of my life and I'm like, bro, I'm feeling that. So we were like, what if we talked about seasons, especially like 30 seasons? We're celebrating 30 seasons this year. Like guys who've been around for a long time can relate to some of that, and new guys can like help them think through it.
Yeah.
And so this book, Ecclesiastes, during my college years when I was reading it, this is 25 years ago. Now I'm older. But Ecclesiastes in college was like...
Seasoned.
Yes, right. I'm seasoned. But when I read it in college, it was really confusing for me. And now that I'm older, it's really confusing to me. Still very confusing. A little clearer, but still mostly confusing because it's like, dude, sounds like kind of depressing. It's like this reality check of like, well, so what? You're going to do all this stuff and then everybody's going to die anyway. And you're like, oh, cool. Right on. What's going on with this guy? And so the more research I've done is like it's in the context of the Bible's wisdom. They call it the wisdom literature. It's like the 3 books of Proverbs and then Ecclesiastes and then Job, actually. And just briefly, this is like what have been learning and kind of been fascinated by. In Proverbs, they talk about Lady Wisdom. Mm-hmm. And it's like Lady Wisdom stands at her door and blah, blah. And then there's Lady Folly. But it's like written from this like Lady Wisdom kind of perspective of like this young lady who's like very mature and very smart and she's very wise, but also kind of young. But she speaks on like almost every subject. You know, Proverbs, literally, it's like there's so many of those little things that are like, essentially it's like live according to God's ways. Do this and things will probably go well for you. It's not like a promise. It's a probability. It's like, do this and things should go well. And so like the whole book of Proverbs we know as mostly this, like these wise sayings. And they liken it to this young Lady Wisdom. And then Ecclesiastes is fun. I never put this together until like just this last week. Ecclesiastes is this like guy they call the teacher. And he's middle-aged and he's like more of kind of a critic. He's the one that says, dude, we're all going to die and the generations are just going to forget us anyway and everything's meaningless, or the word that it's meaningless, but some translate it as vanity. But the word is like it's hevel or something like that, and it means vapor. And it's like, dude, everything's just like vapor. It's just all everything that we deal with is just like kind of this like, and it's gone. And so he like sort of ends the book, sort of summarizes it by saying, try and live your life like enjoying your work and whatever God gives you, but dude, it's mostly meaningless anyway, and we're all gonna die. And it's like your only hope. And he wraps it up like your only hope is that God judges everything in the end. And so like it's a weird book by itself, but and when you take it. So Lady Wisdom, and then this like middle-aged kind of critic guy, and then Job. I mean, Job. He's like this seasoned old man, right? He is, bro is withered. He's seasoned, 100% more seasoned than And so he's this old guy,
more seasoned than us,
buddy. Yeah, he's in the next. He's like seen it all, lost it all. He's wrestled with God's sense of justice. In the world, and he's like, dude, seen the greatest and worst, like sufferings, like just the worst. And in the end, like God has humbled Job in like a really major way. And Job, even through it all, like decides to trust God. No matter what. And then God sort of restores him, like as not necessarily as like a reward, but like as just a gift, like, hey, I do this and God gives and takes away, but bang. And Job like learns this lesson. And so there's these 3 books, which it's cool because it like starts the first one. It's like 3 perspectives on wisdom based on like these seasons of life that each of the authors or main characters are in. And I find that kind of fascinating and sort of enlightening because it helps me to make more sense of some of that stuff. And it also raises more questions for me. I'm always asking questions.
Dude.
But I've like sort of come through my early adult life season, right? When we first got involved in this thing, I was like Lady Wisdom of Proverbs, and I had a wisdom and good advice and an answer for every topic. And what I mean? Like as a young person, like sometimes you just like, not that you're like a know-it-all, but you're very focused and you're like, bro, I know how this is going to go. And then now I find myself like in this middle-aged sort of critic some days of Ecclesiastes. I'm finding myself in this stage of life. And I feel some days, dude, like I'm a grizzled. I was watching this thing the other day. It was like these soldiers. It was like this movie. And the soldiers who are like showing up are all like the rookies. And they're like, we're going to fly these airplanes. And it's like World War I or whatever. And then the guy's like back in the corner, like in this like foggy, smoky thing. And he's like, ugh. He's like smoking. And they're like, who's that guy?
You got that guy.
He's like, he's only been there for like a year. But he's like this grizzled, just rough. And I'm like, bro, I feel like some days I'm like, you wouldn't believe the things I've seen, kid. And I feel like that guy, and it's hard in our age because it's like kind of disorienting. Like, that guy in Ecclesiastes is like, dude, everything's just vanity, dude. It's all vain. It's meaningless. And that guy has lots of questions. He feels kind of a little bit lost. And I'm like, bro, I am there, dude.
Yeah,
I'm there. Like I fully relate to that.
With that,
and so of course I have like questions. I've got confusion. I hate the word trauma, but trauma. Like the heat of battle, the wounded, like the 1,000-yard stare, like the soldiers in my current season, and so I just like have a lot of. I spend days like with lots of questions.
Same.
That I wrestle with, and man, I thought I knew everything when I was 20 years old.
I do look back at I like how you put that though. It's so true. Like, I mean, when like I sometimes find it funny when in the heat of like starting SFC and speaking every like Thursdays. Did we do Thursdays?
Yeah, Thursday nights. Yeah,
Thursday nights, and like, it's funny now where I'm at. Like, I'm like, who was I to like be up there and like and talk? Like, yeah, like I had
You were Lady
all-
Wisdom, dude. You had all these all this good advice, man.
That's what I was thinking. Like when you said that, I was like, gosh, it's just like, yeah, like all these things. And like, and I'd find myself now being less to speak because of what you said, like,
What do I know?
Not using therapy talk, but like trauma and like, and then being seasoned, like going through so many seasons, you're kind of like not jaded. I don't know the word. Like
Not
you're
jaded
just
and
kind of
yes, jaded.
but yeah, I think it's more like jaded. You're like, oh man, you know, like I half more than half the crap that I've gone through, or we have all gone through. So it's not to paint myself as some victim or something.
Yeah.
But we can only like relate to ourselves when we say those things. So it's not to put myself on on some kind of platform that's different than other people. Like, oh well, I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like Four Leafs, you know, like you're the guy. Probably shouldn't bring up Tropic Thunder, but the guys at the back, you guys don't know. You guys are a bunch of wussies. But like that's how sometimes I'm less to speak because I'm like, who am I, man? Like, God, dude, like I thought I had everything and I knew a bunch, I guess, like you said, a know-it-all. I never thought myself as a know-it-all, but boy, I sure talked to a lot of people as if I knew the answer or like, oh, you can listen to me. Now it's like even when having kids, like talking to my own kids, like through life, things that they're going through. And there's just so many times I'm like, hey, I'm not one to speak, but like, you know, here's my advice. And a lot of the stuff I'm telling you not to do is because, well, I tried that, like, and it didn't work, you know, and it's with spirituality or like just being a dummy or, you know, like, you know, should I jump this? And you're like, no, don't jump that right now. You're not ready. I already tried that. Like you could actually like bypass a lot of the injuries I have by doing it the right way. So it's like we have a little bit more to offer, but I'm less to speak about it because of all that. You're like, well, you know, I don't want to be one that thinks I got everything because I question so many things. And I think that's good though. Like, I do think it's special to like you said, like in a conference, there's like the older people, the seasoned people, and then there's like the people that are totally that are newer. And I was thinking about that when I got to like share like a little video, anyways, and that's what I kind of wanted to get out. It's like, oh my gosh, like. Boy, you're going to go through a lot of things, and there's going to be times where you probably want to like just give up or be like, what is this? Like, or am I even making a difference, or am I doing anything like the vapor stuff? Like, what is it for? Like, what am I getting towards? But I do think those are the part of life. I think we're at a season in life where there's a lot we can offer. But out of like being humbled and our ego broken so many times or going through real trials and like being like, oh dude, it's not that I have it together. I know it. It's more just because I probably been where you've been. Maybe the circumstances aren't the exact same, but the overall, it's pretty, you know, I get what you're going through. Yeah. And we even have that with people that are older than us, which you've experienced, that are like, oh dude, like, it'll be fine. You'll get there. And at that moment, I'm like, what? Dude, this is the hardest thing. Like, no, this is the worst. This is the worst. But I remember saying this is the worst, like 12 years ago and like 8 years ago and like 3 years ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got through it. And and when I do think about that, it really has been God, you know, like I did, we all have had our seasons, and I did have a season where things really did come like crashing down, like in all aspects, you know, like and we've all had those moments, but like for me, it was a rock bottom. And at that moment, like, I didn't really trust in God. Like, and I didn't have, like, I was in control. Like, I was doing things, and that's probably why that is why it crashed down, because I did think I had all the answers, and I remember, like, and like, no one could take away till I go to the grave that, like, oh man, like, I wouldn't be here talking to you, literally, if it wasn't for God. Like, he is real. Like, there is, like, a hope. And I think that's the best thing for anybody, is like, dude, like, you'll get through anything, but man, God has to be that anchor, or be that center and that solid. And when you let go of that, dude, shoot, you don't have an anchor, man. The waves, they'll eat you. And, and I know we've all had that in those moments in our life, and some of those are like super dark and super hard and super rough, and you have like certain friends, but boy, I tell you what, like, as hard as it is to say, like, because it kind of sounds cliche or like an easy cop out, but I'm like, bro, like, God got me through that, like, because I couldn't have gotten through any of those things.
And we, in that middle stage, though, in our middle golden years, we have the privilege of looking back on some of that now and going, oh, I thought that was like crazy emergency end of the world thing, and it wasn't. Some of these young guys who are hanging around now, like, they don't have anybody. They don't have that experience, and so it's like kind of on us to help walk them through, and that's why, I mean, we're 100%. Just like, we want people to understand this idea of seasons of life, and I think it fits with with snowboarders, where we understand seasons.
Totally,
snow folks are like the most seasonal, transient. Like, we're seasonally minded, we're seasonally committed, we're seasonally driven,
100%.
And I don't think we need to go like too deep into the analogy,
right? Because
life is seasonal, and our types of people get that, and it's like, dude, honestly, I think, like, this is what, 2026, sometimes I forget, but like this sort of seasonal, like, living new moment to new moment mindset, like, it's like become even more magnified and almost like convoluted, because our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And so, like, scientifically, like, all these studies are like, technology has shortened our attention span so dramatically.
Totally.
Like, so
it's a real thing, man.
Shortened are our attention spans that what was I saying? Like, we're just like, it's like, it's really hard, and it sort of magnifies that seasonal thing, because we're just like moment to moment. Like, we just want, and that seasonal thinking makes living, like, fully and successfully in the now, like, even harder, because we're so, and I think the world's trained us to forget the past and just live right now as like a consumer, like, and as like hedonist, like, whatever you feel, whatever you want, every pleasure, like, satisfying every desire.
Yes.
Like, selfishness is the God that we should surrender to, according to the world. It's like, it's all about living in the now, but just for me, just like that.
Totally.
Or it's maybe the opposite, even sometimes, because advertisers, like, become so future focused too, that it's like, bro, you need this, and you'll, like, know you've arrived when you're driving this thing, and, like, everyone who drinks this thing has more fun than you do. Like, they're constantly, like, trying to push us into, like, spend your money so that you can, like, in the future you can arrive and you can, like, be one of the elite. You can be whatever. There was this old.
It's true.
There was this old Seinfeld episode where he's like, dude, were you ever, like, sitting, like, drinking the soda on the couch, like, just fat, eating chips, and, like, you're just sitting there, and then, like, the soda commercial comes on, they're like, bro, we're all having so much fun with soda. And he's like, dude, am I, like, drinking this wrong or something?
Dude, life is great. Yeah, mine doesn't do that to me.
Yeah, why am I covered in chip dust? And these people are dancing.
I feel like
in
a
bikinis.
slob.
Yeah. Actually, it's why we made that. Remember the old Juicy Fruit commercial? It's like, they, like, pull out a stick of gum and they're like, yeah, and they're like being extreme. We made that nuggy shooters thing, like to sort of parody that. It's just like this product's somehow going to make you happy. And so we like live in a world that's like very weird. It makes it hard for us to like remember how to live in the right now. How do you, is it possible? Is it possible to live in this season like really well, like right now?
Oh, it takes hard work, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is possible. I do think to get there, I do think having a routine of like trying to be there is like still my life goes chaotic if I'm not like taking that time in the morning. So like for me, I have like a routine, like, God, I feel like Joe Rogan where he's always like telling about his like supplements and how he lives his life. And
right,
like, yeah, it must be nice, dude. But he's like, I hop in my infrared sauna and then I do my cold plunge and then I work out and then I like get ready.
And then I work for 64 minutes a day.
Serious. And, but like, man, my days off, like, so say, there's the normal, but like if all of a sudden, hey, you have to be to this job or to this thing at 7:00, then I'm like, oh, I need to be up literally like for me 4:30 to start my process so I can at least sit for like an hour and I just sit and read or I'm music or sometimes I am literally in the quiet. And like you said, that phone is right there trying to get all my attention. And I am so guilty of like doing emails. I don't have social anymore. And I like, but there is always something though, like that, like it's funny by getting rid of it. I was like, this is so great. And it is, I wouldn't change. I love it, but there's still always something to grab my attention, to take it away. To slow down, and like I'm just so convicted, like so working hard at like trying to slow things down. And what I mean by that is just like being present and just being like, oh man, like, man, okay, God, like, what is it? I can like focus on past, or I can like think about my future, which then I'm like overwhelmed because I'm like, oh well, like insurance and like retirement and then like money and everything, all that comes to and then your mind's busy, and so like it's just like, dude, where am I right now? You know, being in the Word is again like a thing that people are like, oh yeah, be in the Word, and you're like, no, like, dude, it slows things down, like it helps you like process stuff, it helps you like ground yourself to truth and like being able to function through the daily life. And for me, that's what I have to do. But
no, that's good.
I think it can be possible.
But it takes discipline too, you know, like you're saying.
Holy cow.
It can be so hard. And sometimes I'm just not feeling it, dude. I'm just like,
that too.
You're like, man, I don't have time. I don't have, and actually, when I first asked you this, I said, how do we do this? Is this possible? Can we live in the now, like successfully? And you said, to get there, but you sort of said it like, to get there. And I was like, together? I thought you were saying together. And I was like, oh, yeah, together, dude. Like, that's actually really good. I'm like, you accidentally pushed me into a great idea. Like, I think we need each other more than... Like the world wants us to be like, be an individual, do what you want, blah, blah, blah. Like it like tries to like single us out and like isolate us. And I think that's like the work of the enemy. I'm not going to go too super spiritual here, but like,
no, I get you.
You ever watch like the Planet Earth documentaries? Remember how sick those were? They'll be like, and the wolf finds the weak and isolates. I don't have that guy's voice, but you
pretty
like,
good though.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You always had the good
I've been
voice
practicing.
For
But he like a predator will find the weak and isolate them, pull them away from the pack, and take them out. And I'm like, bro, that is life. Is like the enemy wants to like pick us off and isolates us, man. And in freaking shred communities, like you feel isolated a lot of times, or you know, you're just like, bro, I don't have anybody to talk to, or I can't really bring up this one thing with anybody. I think that the way we do it well is actually to get there we got to do it together. I think you're on.
There's something there, bro.
I think that, and honestly, I mean, I guess this is good. This is kind of all occurring to me right now. That wisdom literature thing is like the young lady wisdom, the middle age, and the old. Like there's these like 3 age groups of experience, 3 different perspectives, levels of how to like do life well, and they're all kind of a little bit different, but they sort of conclude in that like, hey guys, it's not fully like black and white out there, man. It's not as easy and as simple as all that. But we together should be able to like, we can and should trust God, like, and we should do that together. Like loosen your grip on all the things, like all the frustrations and all the everything, like loosen your grip on your plans, on your opinions, of your hopes for the future, of your views, like loosen your grip a little bit of like how you think things ought to happen, and like simply enjoy your lot and trust God and like live in celebration and like live with God and I'm not saying like don't ever like strive for dreams or like remember from the past. Like you all have to have that stuff, hold it all together. But that can't be your sole focus is like the future or the past or whatever, because you trip up. Like, have you ever been not looking where you're going because you're looking at something else? Or shredding, dude. This is a perfect shred example. Like, have you, what's the worst crash you ever had because you weren't looking at where you were going? Like, I broke this collarbone. The second time I broke this collarbone was that, like, we do that where like we're not, if you don't look at like where you are, dude, you're going to trip up, you know?
I'm with you. Like, I don't want to go like super, like on a rant or like on a tangent here. I do think there is the time of life that we're in. We are busy and like there's so many distractions and there's so many things that I do think are surrounding us, kind of built by design, that pull us away from everybody. And I don't want to like get into like 2020 and all these things, but there was like this like pull away. And you see it in kids and you see it in like the generation now, like to like, it's all about the individual and like also like this isolation of like being able to, like, we are providing so many things in this world that allow us to do things on our own, by ourselves, order food alone, like don't go to the grocery store anymore. Like just have it delivered. I get it. There's things to like to balance out and like use, but there's way more available for us to not be in community, not to be connected. And I could speak from isolation, like where once I isolated myself from you, from friends and from community, from church, from everything, that's when things collapsed, like it literally. And so I do think it is something to put a main focus on, that we need community, we need togetherness, we need to be together, and we're created to be in community. We're created to like have connection. Like we were built to have that with God. And now there's like this, you know, like I said, I don't want to go too deep and get all weird, but like we have everything. Now we have AI to like answer our questions. And so like there's this movement of like almost like a separation from God too. Like, well, I got all the answers. Like I can get all the answers from this other thing. And I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but there is a part of that. And then we are in a battle of a season where we're going to have to work extra hard. Like you said, like it takes discipline, but we are in a season where we have to work extra hard in order to stay together, to communicate with each other, to work together, to keep community going, to not find ourselves like disconnecting, which is really easy to do at this time. And so, I mean, like kids will be like, oh, I want to hang out with my friends, and they do that by gaming. I'm not bagging it. I'm just saying, man, we used to like, dude, you just got on your bike or your skateboard as a kid and you or go snowboard and you like went over to like hang out. Like that's how you hung out.
Yeah.
So it's easy to like, to be comfortable in doing that. And then I think like a conference and like what SFC does provide and like is a community. And then this community, when I think about it, is so cool. I can't believe how wide and spread out it is now where I'm like, oh my gosh, this was always like what we wanted though. Like, yeah, if you showed up in this town, you could like plug into an SFC. Like this is actually happening now. And so we're going to have to work extra hard to like keep that going and to pour into that and be like, no, let's never leave that. Like there are some things like, no, we don't want to like, adapt to like, well, we could just like send a group text. It's like, no, man, we need to get together.
Yeah.
Like we need to like follow up on community and being together and like getting through this.
Yeah.
And, not getting through it, but like to
some of it's
go
getting
through life
through it. Yeah,
together.
some of it's
to go through life together. Yeah. And so I think that is also a big struggle and a battle that we have to confront. That is a reality at this day and age that we want to pull away and isolate and it's easier now too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
The
mean,
convenience.
you can lose hours on your phone alone. Like, oh, I just want to veg out for a little bit and I deserve this. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, what about calling a friend? And I know, So,
I took my kids over to
go
Woodward.
crazy on that.
And Woodward's fun because it's like skate ramps,
I love
trampolines, foam pit. It's just like
I love
will get you. I mean, even as an older person, you can just go and freaking be exhausted because you're just being goofy. But I took the kids over here a couple months ago, and I walked in. I was like, it's good for them because there's like other kids and whatever. They're hanging out and goofing off, and it's like good socializing. But I came in. And there was a group of probably a dozen kids, and they were all like laying on the mats or in the foam pits, all on their phones. Like nobody was doing anything. I was like, oh crap, dude. Like I was hoping that the kids would come and socialize. And then my daughter's like by herself and she's like, everybody's on their phones. I'm like, I know. But I'm like, this is the place that everybody comes to hang out. And I was just like, dude, it's like the funnest place to be as a kid. And like everybody's like sitting on their devices. And I was like, this sucks. But
it's
a real
thing.
That's the world we live in too, though, and so we have to like understand how to not be like all in my age, like not be just grumpy and jaded, like you said, but like how do we do this well? And I think I still think this idea of together is like, I think you hit on it accidentally, Floyd. I think it's beautiful, bro.
Yes. Like
being together is the thing that also gives me like incentive to like want to spend alone time with God is when I'm like with my homies that are like, dude, I'm going through this thing. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to say, but I know that there's some truth here and I don't know how to say it. And I'll like spend time with God and be like, are you good? Because these things are happening. And then like as we talk together, we become like the sounding board for each other. Is that the right phrase? In mixing up phrases, sounding. Do you ever watch? What was it?
No.
Remember was a movie like Sigourney Weaver's The Lady, and it's like Finding Dory or Nemo or one of those things. And they're like, ooh, they're like talking, and they're like talking about the whale that like puts out these sounds, and it's like they navigate by sonar. Like that's kind of what we're doing, like navigating our way through life. And if there's nobody and nothing to bounce off of, dude, you're freaking all by yourself. It's so easy to just get lost. Like we need each other, which I think is great. Like we're doing these gatherings, we're trying to, rally everybody. And,
I love it.
Cause I think you're on to Floyd. I got to make some notes, bro. Thanks,
well,
dude. Talk about now. Yeah.
I got to patent that real quick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just write this down, send it in.
But I do, when you said that, it struck me like it is something not to be jaded over. I think it's just something to be able to admit the truth of it, like, because I think actually people don't like to hear it, like the phone thing, like, oh, you're just sounding like an old man. And you're like, no, like we're just trying to combat that, like that it is something that is, truth hurts, like truth is always the best, and truth is never really actually supposed to be truth will always hurt, like I think, because the truth, like we hear truth, and life is supposed to be, I think we grow by truth and by hard things, and that's how we grow. Like, so being able to embrace the hurt and embrace the hard and embrace the truth, the things that like, oh man, I gotta like, I think that's the only way I prefer to do life. Like I wouldn't trade that. Like I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to like isolate. Like I want to push myself. And especially in like SFC, when you're working with a lot of people, let's admit that what comes with that is like, oh, this person's personality, or they're going through something and it's so annoying. They were talking to this person. I think they were talking about me, and so much can like build up from that. But that's also the hard stuff that's really good too, where like, I'm sure there's going to be people that are at the conference. This is just in all life, but let's focus on like people who are in ministry and people who are doing ministry with people. I bet all of them are going to be like, there's going to be a handful that are going to be like, I'm kind of burnt out because this one person or this person I have to work with, or like their personality and this stuff. And that's just the truth to it. And being like, hey, like, okay, but you have to like confront those things and deal with those rather than run away. And I do think like that's the encouragement to these people. Like, well, that's the season you're in, and you're like, yeah, that person's not perfect, but neither are you. And they could be doing the same thing, like, oh, dude, Floyd like just drives me nuts, or like Josh is telling me to do this one thing, and then you know, like they gave me attitude, so then they're like builds up. But like I think that's like the growth stuff that we have to go through in order to grow a ministry and to grow those things. Is like, dude, you're going to go through some like really hard times, and there might be some people that are at the conference that are like, believe it or not, like I think I'm going to step down, or I'm going to leave, and it's not even over like that's what God's doing. It's because they're burnt out on somebody, or burnt out on this, or burnt out on that, and that's the season they're in. It's like no, embrace the suck, and then let's get through it, because you know how much bigger and stronger you're going to go through it. And like that's all the wisdom I can share, is like by going through the suck and actually having to deal with it. And like, and pushing through something. And that, I just want, like, I was sharing it in the video. Like, I just want people to be encouraged to like connect and like find those people. 'Cause the next person is going through the same thing, you know, like they're, and we can get through those things, but
together. And I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right that truth is going to prevail, but I think there is a way of like doing truth in love in a way that
absolutely
that's the together part, is like you can't just get truth and people be like, suck it up, you're being weak, life's hard. It's like that's not always helpful to, like when you're in that situation. And so like truth,
I'm glad you brought that up.
I think truth and love is like the way, because it is hard. I mean, Jesus literally was like to his disciples, he's like, hey, in this world you will face many troubles. Like that's a promise from Jesus, is like life's going to be hard. That's not like the promise you like have people claim in worship, but like Jesus is like, bro, you're going to have troubles. It's going to be, life is hard.
Yes.
I'm not here to make your life easy. Life is hard. But he continues that. He says, but take heart, because I've overcome the world. Like be courageous, be bold, because I've overcome it. And so, but it's going to be hard. Like the suck, like it's there and it's real and it's coming for you.
Yeah.
But be of good courage, because I done did it. Like it's done, it's finished, and I've got power over it, and I'm going to run you through these tests, and it'll produce patience and perseverance, and, you know, it'll grow you, but it's coming and it's hard. And that's that's kind of like I don't want to be the old man giving the warning, but I think so like, just let me, general synopsis of this is like, we look at the past, like, dude, I want to be thankful and grateful to all the old heads, all the dudes who even roped us in funny, weird ways. Ruben, Bruce, all those guys.
Yeah.
Like, be grateful to those guys. Grateful for their courage. They had to like fly the flag, like the Jesus flag in like the 90s when the 90s was like pretty anti everything in the snowboard world. Like, these dudes went and did it. So like my synopsis is like, I want to be thankful for the past. I want to be thankful for those dudes who got us involved, the dudes who did what they did. I also want to be like to the present. Like, firstly, I'm grateful, dude, that we're still alive. Some of the stupid stuff we did. But that God has like sustained like the mission of SFC across the planet for like years and years and years. Like, these young bucks who are getting involved right now, I don't want them to just hear, bro, it's hard, just suck it up. To the young bucks who are listening to this, like, who are getting involved now and asking some big questions or have some big ideas, you might be asking things like, is this even a real mission? We asked that one.
Right.
Is all the time.
Have I heard from God? Am I in the right place? I hear people all the time say, like, I don't know if this is what God wants. Like, am I on the right road? Am I freaking insane like my friends and family think I am for doing this ridiculous Jesus skiing thing?
Totally.
Or even like maybe they're asking questions like, dude, why does this feel hard right now? That's a question I'm still asking. But I want the people now who are getting involved to like feel encouraged. And so the past, thank you to the old heads right now. Like, if you're getting involved, bro, like, we're together, like, let's do this together. And then like the future, like, whoever comes after us, bro, like, wherever God takes us, like the next wave, like, I don't know where that's going to be, and that's okay. You know, like, whatever next.
Yeah.
We have this book. Oh, dude, actually, my computer's resting on these books that we made. Remember this? Remember this book we made? Dude, look at that.
Yeah, bro.
God
Come on.
Us. We talk about like the waves, like different waves of growth in SFC, and that's kind of seasonal talk. It's kind of stuff what we're talking about now.
It really is.
But like, wherever this thing goes, like, I want to be a person who can be grateful for the past and those people who come before us, all the lessons we've learned in the present, saying, hey, to these young guys, who the next generation who are coming along, because I'm middle age, to these young guys coming along, like, hey, bro, it will be hard, but like, we got you. We're doing this thing together. Because nobody knows what the future is going to hold. But for right now, like, in this right now, like, we're doing this thing together. You know, like, this is how we do this. And we sound off each other and we say, hey, bro, I know you're feeling this. I know that, you know, you feel isolated and you've been asking these questions. I've asked those questions. Like, let's do this thing together. I'm there for you. And so that's my like general synopsis of like, I don't want us to just sound like the old jaded guys. I want us to be able to hold, like we were saying, that like the past lessons and the past things we're grateful for and the things in the future that we have no idea what's coming, but we have hopes and someday it's going to get better. And hold it in this moment of like, bro, we're just doing this thing together and trying to be as grateful and as to just relying on God as we can. I mean, you know this feeling. You're in that stage too.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you hit it. Like, the thing is, the some of those new people coming in, it's like, what is it like? I always loved the scripture. Like, I've been sharing it with Holden and my kids, but like, God blesses the man with a plan. Like, and so like, if, you know, people are questioning, like, I don't know if this is what God has for me. It's like, well, dude, like, if you're here and you're doing this, God is going to bless that. Like, it's just having that plan of like, no, this is okay. I am doing this. It doesn't mean like I had door A and door B and you chose B and you're screwed. Yeah, like B was the wrong question. Like, God's like, no. That if that's where you are and you're doing that, let's do it. Because they're going to have what we had, but it's going to be our kids' kids. Like, that they're going to be seeding into. So that should be exciting for them to be like, oh man, I have this opportunity to take this thing that's been going that they thought at one time, the old people, like the older, the ones that started it, they're probably like, I don't know, is this even going to go somewhere? And then you look at it where we get to stay in the middle kind of going,
I had no idea that this would be going still and growing and like and as big as it is and where it is at. Like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like this is, it's okay to say it's like this is legit. Like
that's right.
well, this is a legit ministry. That's huge. Like and God has blessed that. And now there's other people getting like that are able to come in and they're the new ones and they're like, I get to do the same thing. And then also see it go through the seasons and changes, and then they get to adapt to it and like prolong it, and that's exciting to me for some reason. Like I always think like, oh my gosh, like if I can be one small piece of the puzzle that got to see it continue or to pass on or to, if it was a short term or long term, that next group, like you still have this like stake in it. Like I still have this enormous pride and like excitement, like more like I got to lay some of those bricks down, dude. I'm a part of the bricklaying of this foundation of this thing that God is doing, and God's the boss, and he put me to work, and I got to be a part of that crew. And then but these new crews that are coming in that are going to start doing some work that I can't do anymore, I'm excited to see where this building goes, you know, like, oh my gosh. And so it's exciting to see those people and being like, hey, so we got to like go through the struggles of building this foundation and then kind of seeing it build. And you guys get to do the parts that I probably won't be able to do, but I'm here if you got any questions. Cause I kind of learned part of the, you know, if construction of it, like, oh man, I got to I learned, don't do this, figure this, like this is what helped me or whatever.
I laid that one brick, but I had to pull out like 4 before I.
yeah. Bro, I miscut that piece of trim like 100 times because I kept doing it backwards, which I still do. So like, I think that's what's so exciting to be able to like have a moment. Like we're doing a podcast of together after all these years, and I'm still with my best friend through life, like through everything, the stuff that isn't on here, like they get to have that opportunity too with someone and others. And, and I wouldn't trade any of that
For sure.
for anything. Like like I get to keep that, and that's mine. And I think I said to you one time, I will nurture that and keep that safe as long, like forever. There's nothing that will ever take that away again. You know, like it's like nope. Like that is something so precious, and I want to see other people have that same connection and same community and same togetherness, and to be able to listen to them say it sometime. And I'm encouraged, like, that these conferences are happening, and I'm encouraged that, like, we hit 30 years alone. Like, I was like, bro, I had no idea that back when we started, I didn't see it that far. I could not see it. Like, I lived seasonally, like, by actual physical winters, like, oh man, I just hope it dumps next year. Or like, I hope I can learn this trick. And it's just like, whatever. But now you're like seeing the long-term seasons of like, dude, I want to see these things happen. But being also present in that moment is how we'll get through there. So
and
I love it.
I guess if you're listening to this and you're like conferences, I guess I want to challenge you to join one of these celebrations. We're in Queenstown, literally, dude, this is like next week. We're recording this.
So sick.
August 21,
That's how we roll.
August 21st to 24th, 2026 in Queenstown, New Zealand. Montana, which is going to be pretty sick in the USA, January 28 to 31. That's 2027. That sounds crazy.
Crazy.
And then later in the spring, on the Countertal Glacier in Austria, April 22nd to 25th, 2027. So if you're not able to attend, at least, dude, what if you just at least like connected with if you're an old guy, like connect with an old SFC friend, or a new SFC friend, or if you're one of these new guys, then like somebody you might be praying for is like maybe a future SFC friend. So you can just like sort of, if you're old guy, reminisce about the past, express your gratitude for somebody's partnership right now, or wax creative on your like hopes and future together. But remember, we're talking about together. This, bro, you set this on a new trajectory with the togetherness. And I'm just like, that's super encouraging, because I wanted to talk about the wisdom literature stuff, because it felt like it helped us think through seasons. But like, I think all of them were saying this stuff together, and thousands of years people have used this wisdom literature. Brothers and believers like have used this stuff to encourage each other. And hey, bro, trust in God, man. This is a season. Like, remember, this is a season. Remember how much He showed up in your past seasons. Like, live with hope for the future seasons. It's gonna get better. People have been doing this for a long time and talking each other through like, hey, bro, it's a big, hairy, like gray area world out there. There's a lot of weeds that we get stuck in, but like, keep fighting the good fight, keep running the race, the course set out for. I actually have that Hebrews scripture here somewhere. Hebrews 12, 1-3, it says, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, like there's so many other believers, like let us throw off everything that hinders us, like get out of the weeds and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Like, let's send it together. Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross. For the joy set before him, he knew that joy was coming next season, type of thing. And because he knew that joy was coming, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. And I was like, man, I want to read that, because it feels like, man, we're doing this thing together, and we need each other, and we've got each other. We're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Don't get stuck. Don't get hung up on like the little things that so easily entangle sin, or just confusion, or big questions, or whatever. Like, don't get stuck on it. Like, remember Jesus' perseverance, and remember you've got each other. Like, I think that's so powerful. And I'm glad that you sort of got us there accidentally. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Dude.
Even a blind squirrel like us finds a nut every one day, something like that. Yeah.
I love those sayings.
Me too. Even as
I always get them wrong, so
let's get this ball rolling.
Let's get this ball.
Dude, I wanted to say this one thing. I did have one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm like let's just keep going. We're already going long. I recently, so I was like part of this church with like a bunch of leaders, and then everybody left, and now it's just like I'm doing the worship and the preaching and all that stuff myself. But recently I like roped my daughter into helping me sing. And she's 13.
Bro.
She's got a pretty good voice. She's an alto. She's not soprano. Now she's like growing up. But she's got a beautiful voice. So we've been like singing together, but I've had to not learn to play guitar, but pretend to learn to play guitar, because I'm just an absolute fucking hack.
I always pretended to.
I'm the capo king. But like,
Same here.
I've just sort of like, she's been singing with me, and it's been such a sweet season of life. I use the season.
I love that.
Like, to worship with your child, like to worship God. And she's like singing these words, and I'll be like practicing at home, and I'll be singing, and I'm like, and I'll like start get choky uppy, like I'm not crying, you're crying thing.
Yeah, been there.
But this song we've been singing has been like super timely. It's that Firm Foundation song, like Christ is my firm foundation. The high part of it, like when I sing harmony with her, or versus when I sing by myself, the high part is because you're faithful through every season, and I always have to like belt it out. And lately I'm like, bro, you're faithful through every season. God, you're faithful through, and to hear my child sing this. The other line is, you're faithful through every generation. And I'm like singing this with my daughter, and I'm like, have to like belt it full voice. And I'm like, man, God is so faithful through every season. I'm so glad that's the loudest and hardest part of the song, because I like really have to like, even if you don't feel it, dude, you got to belt it out as like this reminder of like, God is faithful through every season, bro. Like through every season and to every generation. And like her stand beside, bro, I like get freaking tears. I got goosebumps right now. That's why I wore long sleeves. I wore long sleeves so you can't see my goosebumps. But I've just been like so encouraged by literally having to like belt out that line of like, you're faithful through every season. God, you're faithful through every generation. Like, You just are, man. Whether I'm feeling it or not, I've just got to belt it out because I know it's true. And we've got to keep like belting that out together. God is faithful through every season, man. Even when you don't feel it, even when you don't see it, even when you're like Ecclesiastes stuck in the like, dude, it's all freaking meaningless. Like, God is still faithful. And we've got to keep reminding each other of that.
I love that, man. I think that's a good way to.
That's like one of the only notes that I prepared today.
Well, I like that. No, dude, that's cool. I've been after we came up through the winter, and again, dude, that was such a blessing and just a huge impact
for the people listening. Floyd is my great friend from a long time ago, but he's living down in the city.
You didn't do an introduction.
I know, I suck. Let's do an introduction
whenever I listen to podcasts, they always like do introductions.
Well, since we don't know what we're doing, let's do it at the end. Floyd is a great
cut
friend.
That.
Yeah, cut. We'll fix it in post. But anyway, in hindsight, outroduction. Floyd has been running. Oh, dude, look, I even have some of your stickers. Floyd runs this thing, High Five Stickers. Dude, this one made me laugh so hard. Makers of Rad Stickers. No, where is it? Oh, this one. Never stop stickering stuff. I freaking lost it when I saw that. But anyway, Floyd's been like doing these stickers. And this past year, I was like, bro, listen, I'm struggling with this church. I'm like trying to do all this crap myself. And like, would you help me? And so he would come up once a month and we would do worship together. Like we used to, like literally we haven't done it in 15, what?
It was SFC, dude.
Like so long ago. And so we started doing worship together and it's like, it was such a blessing to like, I was just feeling super lonely and isolated and to have a homie come and he's like, man, it's such a blessing. Like my family gets to come up and stay and shred. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know. It's like such a blessing to like have another.
You have no
not
idea.
only like a return, like it's like circular, like returning to like the things of old again, which was really like refreshing, but also like just to have a friend when you're like in that Ecclesiastes, like, bro, is it all meaningless? What am I doing here? It was just so encouraging. So Floyd's been like a legend this year. We've like really reconnected and cried together.
It's been awesome.
Bro. Do people need to know that? Maybe.
No, I mean like, I try to come off really tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but that was so cool. Like when we were doing that, like there were some moments because I'm coming from my view, it was such a blessing. But then like this was like a new introduction. Like we had SFC when Holden and Sully, but now we have Semenat, and now they're older, and then doing that, watching like I've never had the opportunity to play music in front of them in a long time. Like I actually know it's been ages, like 10 years or plus. And so having like what you were saying about Camo, like having that opportunity and seeing them worshiping. There were so many times that like I choked up. Like I mean, it was like obvious, like, and I was trying to get through the words and I was like, and it was me just experiencing that generation thing. Like I was like, dude, like, those are the things I want people to be excited. Like those are the moments where you feel God. And like, when you're like, I wouldn't trade this for the world. This is so impactful. Like this is like wrecking me. Yeah. And you can't write that stuff and you can't script it and you can't make it happen if you force it. Like it comes about. And that's what I love about God. Like it just comes about and you're like, bro, I never thought I'd be in this situation. I'm singing this song and like my kids are over there. And it was really cool because this year was just a big eye opener for the kids to be older, kind of being like, oh, this is what you guys, this was like SFC and I was like, this is what it was. And it was so new too. And at this church, and then being able to partner again, together again. Yeah. And I was just impacted every time. Like I absolutely loved it. And since this is recorded, I'm going to say, like, let me know if we can continue that. Like, I am on board. Just like maybe you're like, no, I was going to kind of not do that again. But yeah. But like, oh man, it was so cool. And like through that was so cool, like for people to hear. Like, I mean, for me, there was some other people. I don't know if for you, but like there were some people that came out of the woodworks that were like hearing like it had nothing to do with us, but they're like, Josh and Floyd are singing and like doing church. And, and I mean, there was people that were showing up, and we took this photo of like the SFC, the people that attended, they don't have anything to do with SFC anymore. Well, I mean, they're supportive, you know what I mean? They've moved on, they have families, and they showed up. And then we took this photo of the generations, and everyone had kids and like, pregnant, and like, I mean, it was like, what? And I was just, I shouldn't have known. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but
I'll cut that.
I was like, holy cow! Like, look at what the seed. Like, I don't know, what is it? Like, look at like how the fruit and like what goes down if you just stay present, like just trust God and like put that together. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't have like put this together. And I kept thinking, Josh, like I kept thinking you. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, you have no idea, like, how big this was. And then seeing my kids, like, coming back home, and, like, Holden is, like, turned 18 this year, and he's like, man, like, Dad, like, I love this. I want to be a part of this. I want to do this. And I always just kind of was like, I don't want to force that on my kids. Like, and it's like, he's like, can I see Uncle Josh? Like, can I, like, go up there? I'm like, dude, his door's open. Like, I've always wanted this, but I just didn't want to, like, push it on you. Like, I wanted to like come organically for you, and like I wanted to, and so I again, like, I don't know where that was come from, but like it is cool to hear you like singing with Kama and like those things, and like I've been singing. They got me to play music again, and then Simone started like singing with me, and it's the same thing. Like she's like learning how to sing, and I was like, dude, probably wouldn't have happened if you didn't open that door or provide that opportunity for me to say yes to. Because at first I was like, I don't know, man, like I'm a hack, and like I don't really deserve to be up there. But boy, I'm so glad I said yes. Yeah. So.
Well, I know the future, and so I knew that we were going to be coming on here to talk about togetherness, and so that's why I reached out to you.
Bro, this is great.
So good. So we always wrap up with this idea of our vision is to be the light of Jesus in the shred culture, and so we want to encourage people to shine bright, to let their light shine. Don't hide it. You know, Jesus says, "Let your light shine before all humankind, so they might see your good deeds and give glory to God in heaven." Like the idea is that we're shining the light in the world, so that people understand who God is, the kind of God He is, and so. To wrap it up, as always, everything we do here at SFC in our little support office is to help encourage you all, anyone listening to this, to shine brighter and bridge better. Floyd, thanks for being here. I hope we can do this again soon.
Yeah, dude. Of course. I'd be stoked.
All right.
Thanks, Joshy.
Yeah.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Bye.